Hello and welcome to Schema App's partner program. My name is Martha Van Berkel and I am the CEO here at Schema App. And I'm delighted to be joined with Karen Feibel, who's our Director of Channels. Welcome, Karen. So today what we're going to cover is to go through the partner program and share sort of, where there's opportunities for you to partner with Schema App as a reseller and a referrer. But first, let's start with some introductions. So my name is Martha Van Berkel. Many of you may have seen my knowledge graph before, but I always like to introduce myself and how I'm connected to other things. So I grew up at Cisco. I spent 14 years there. I have a technical degree in mathematics and engineering. I went to MIT. I'm one of the co-founders of Schema App, and I am Canadian. So if I say A, don't tease me too much. And I used to own a 1965 Austin Healey Sprite. And my actual car was actually a star in the movie Losing Chase, which was directed by Kevin Bacon. And so I always use this as my introduction because you have now inferred that you're 3 degrees from Kevin Bacon, since I'm 2 degrees from Kevin Bacon. And that inference is the same way that Google uses schema markup in order to figure out and answer customers' questions on the web. And so over to you, Karen. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
So my name is Karen Feibel. I'm the Director of Channels. I'm also Canadian. I'm the alumni of York University, Tridel, HP, HPE. In my spare time, I'm an artist and married with 2 kids. And I guess my claim to fame is when I was working at Tridel, I had a very close connection with a colleague of mine who was the mother of Howie Mandel. And Howie used to frequent our sales office and helped me to write a short story in grade 13. So we both authored a short story. So I'm 1 degree from Howie, which means you're 2 degrees from Howie. And as Martha indicated, the reason why we talk about and introduce ourselves with a knowledge graph is because search engines use knowledge graphs to understand how things are related and to gather information from a variety of sources to be able to serve answers up in search. And so one of the ways that you can feed into this knowledge graph is to apply schema markup or structured data. And, we're kind of entering into this whole partnering webinar, assuming that you know a little bit about structured data. But if you wanted to learn more, we encourage you to go to our website, click on the About page, and listen to our benefits of schema markup, and also read about schema markup on our website. Additionally, you can go to our resources section, explore our training, and also click on blog, where you're going to find articles, newsletters, podcasts, news, webinars, all sorts of resources to bring you up to speed about this incredible technology and how it can benefit you. All right, so let's jump into the partner program. So Schema App has 2 different primary routes to market. We go to directly to customers, and we work with both resellers and referrals. So if we, talk about the referral program, basically as a referral partner, you can earn rebates for qualified leads that turn into Schema App sales. So essentially the way it works is a real referral partner would qualify the lead, introduce Schema App into the account. The customer must be new to Schema App, and then you can earn 15% for the first 2 years as a rebate on eligible services. So the eligible services include premium and enterprise subscriptions, as well as professional services and support and enhanced analytics. So essentially, there are a couple of steps to making this happen. First, you need to join the referral program. So you would go to our website, click on partners, click on the link, fill out the application under the referral program link. And then after you receive authorization, we'll give you a link to register each opportunity. And once the opportunities are approved, then after they close and the customer pays you, we pay, or they pay us, we pay you. There's some eligibility criteria. So the customer must be new to Schema App, or they haven't been an active Schema App customer for the last 3 years, and they can't already be in discussions with us or another reseller partner. So this is why we do the whole registration process. As well, you can't be both a referral and a reseller partner on the same deal, or a referral and a customer on the same deal. And of course, you need to be able to accept referral payments. So if you work for an organization, they have to be okay with that. And we need to make sure that that doesn't violate any of any standards of business conduct, rules that your organization might have. So other than that, though, pretty simple, straightforward process. Register the deal, bring us into the account, pre-qualify it, and we can take it from there. Now, resellers are a little bit more, it's a more in-depth process. Martha, did you want to introduce this particular slide?
Sure. So the role of the reseller is really to partner with us in order to add a ton of value to your customers. And because you already have that relationship, we want to sort of power you with, our high touch support, with sort of like helping you, come up with training resources while you still sort of continue to, make money and be able to sort of add value to your customer. And so the role of the reseller is really to do the sales and marketing, to promote Schema app to those customers, to do credits and collections, to do professional services if you choose. So that's where you sort of do the high touch support, including strategy, implementation, managed services, manage the account, and are sort of the first response to the customer. And in this case, some of our resellers ask like, well, can I white label Schema app? And the answer is no. So we do want you to sort of not sort of say that it's your technology, but you actually aren't restricted from not telling them that you are using our technology. So you can't call the technology your own, but you don't have to necessarily, tell your customer that you're using Schema app. Although I would say like some of our best partnerships, like we have a strong relationship where they're proud and sort of use us as a brand to say that sort of, hey, not only are we getting it done for you and using our expertise, but we're backed by the world's experts in this space. And then really Schema app, what we want to do is provide you all the resources to be successful, to deliver on that value to your customer.
So we have a couple of requirements to participate in the program. And the first requirement is about maintaining a minimum number of what we call premium and enterprise customers, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, or 15 pro customers. We measure this annually. We haven't really been enforcing this yet because the partner program is relatively new. But the big concept behind this is we're looking for partners who are going to be using the tools frequently enough that they're comfortable with it, and essentially that they're not constantly calling us for help. So we do provide high touch support. We're always there for our partners, but we're looking for partners who plan to use this as a regular tool for their customers. We are developing a sales and technical certification that's going to be out in the next probably month or two. So we're looking for partners who are willing to learn about the tools from both a sales and a technical point of view. And we're also looking for organizations who will designate a Schema app champion. So this is particularly important for large agencies that we really want to have one person that is the primary contact, and that we can engage with them. We can work with other people as well, but we really want to make sure that that person is always on the line, helping everybody else in the company. So we've got a lot of benefits associated with our program. First and foremost, there are discounts on the subscriptions and with our professional services. And we even offer a very aggressive discount on the subscription for your own website. We will, upon signing you up as a partner, we give you access to a Google Drive full of sales and marketing materials that you're free to rebrand, because we understand that explaining this whole schema markup structured data thing can be complicated. So we've put together, social media posts, sales presentations, emails, a bunch of things that you can literally just put your own logo on and send it out to your customers. We offer high touch supports for partners with premium and enterprise customers, as well as email support. And if you become really proficient in the tools and you're interested, we'll send you leads for customers who are interested in consulting for pro accounts. And lastly, we are going to be rolling out a partner insignia that you can put on your website probably in the next month or two.
I'm super excited for the partner certification. Just I think it'll really feel like that, like we're telling people who our awesome sort of partners are, and be able to also promote their businesses from Schema app.
Yeah, and it's been something the partners have been asking for. So yeah, it's gonna be great. So let's start off with the first benefit, which is the discounts. So as a good starting point, let's take a look at our standard pricing and how this works. So we on our website, if you go to the pricing page, we have the first two packages are with talk about our Schema app editor, and this is a tool that you would use to mark up one page at a time. And we're going to get a little bit more into this in a few minutes. And then the last two packages are the premium and the enterprise, which give you not only access to the editor, but also to the highlighter. And this is where you can mark up a single page that's templated and then deploy the markup to potentially millions of pages if you have millions of pages. So we have two different pricing discount structures for each of these clumps of plans. So starting off with the Pro and the Pro multi-site, and again, this pertains to the editor. The way it works is typically, you would be paying $30 a month for a single domain. And you can mark up as many pages as you'd like. We say up to 1,000 because we think that that's probably the most people would do, but using the editor. If you had 2 domains, it's $60, 3 domains, $90, but anywhere above 4 domains, there's a price break. So 4 to 10, it's $100. These are all US prices. And then beyond 10 domains, it's $10 for each account. And one of the great things about being a partner is you can actually manage all of your accounts from your same login. So it'll come up as a project, and you can clone if you've got customers who are doing similar type, like their websites are structured in the same way. You can clone different things that you've marked up and apply it to different websites and move things around. But we're not going to dig into the tools today, but this is pretty cool. So this becomes very affordable if you're marking up a lot of your customers' websites. Then
So it's about the same price as like a venti mocha at Starbucks. But we'll like automate the schema markup and provide you support to do it, right? So we're really trying to make sure that like this is a tool that you can use on all your customers, that it's not cost prohibitive, and that it still has that support as an entryway to then if you have larger sites where the highlighter makes sense.
Exactly. So schema markup without writing code, links to Wikipedia, all of the awesome things that you get from Schema app at a super great price. So then we have the highlighter. So the highlighter, again, is where you are marking up templated pages. You mark up one page, and then you take that and you tell the highlighter, hey, I want you to mark up all of the pages that are similar to this page. This is how you can identify them. Maybe you give it a list of URLs. Maybe you identify a pattern of URLs, an XPath, the different ways we can figure out how to do it. We can exclude things, and then it just automatically marks up those pages. And as those pages change, so if the price changes, or let's say it's a product page, products come and go, it's dynamically updated. So often our enterprise customers use a combination of both of these tools. Maybe they're marking up, articles and blogs and products and locations and different things using the highlighter, maybe people, and then they might be marking up their, their home page, their about page, their contact us page, with the editor. And so the way it works is we actually charge by template. So the premium package includes 2 templated pages, up to 5,000 pages associated with those templates, and unlimited pages with the editor for a single domain, and that's $400 US. And the enterprise package is very similar, but instead of being 2 templated pages, it's 4 templated pages, and you get up to 10,000 pages. And we can scale to any number of pages and any number of templates, but these packages seem to cover off the majority of the customers. Now, there are discounts, we said, and they're comprised of 2 different things. So the first piece of the discount is deal registration. So this is where you would register your deal so that we can validate that we're not either already working with that customer, or to the best of our knowledge, none of our partners are working with that customer. And so for that, it's a 10% discount, and it's stackable with a subscription discount. And the subscription discount goes up with the number of accounts that you bring on board. Really what we're thinking is as you become more proficient in the tools, you require less help from us, therefore it's less support costs on our end. We pass those savings on to you. The very first account that you bring in, the first 2 accounts, is a total of 25% off. So that premium at $400 US goes from $400 to $300, and then the discounts actually scale up to 40% off. And so how do you make money with Schema app on these enterprise and premium accounts? Well, first off, you have the opportunity to mark up the cost of the Schema app subscription. So customers can see exactly how much this stuff is on our website, but you're starting off at a minimum of a 25% discount. And when we are starting off with a customer, we always charge strategy and setup because it can be pretty heavy lifting getting all of the schema markup onto the page. So what our partners do is as they become proficient, they do the strategy and setup and charge that one-time consulting fee for their customers. Included in the cost of this subscription is pretty much like a lot of different deployment options. One of them is, a data feed integration, which our team needs to get involved in if we do that, and that's at an incremental cost. The rest are included, but partners may choose to sell their own to high touch support with a subscription. So you might have customers who are saying like, hey, I don't want to touch this at all. We get customers like that. So you may choose to charge them extra for managed services, or they might want you to do the testing and best practicing and monitoring, maintenance, success metrics reporting, whatever it may be. If we get into things beyond the management of the subscription, we charge high touch support. We encourage you to do the same. As well, you may decide to take your schema knowledge and apply it to some of the complementary services. So we have 2. So Schema app, in addition to offering schema markup through these tools, also does enhanced analytics. So this is pretty cool. If you guys know anything about structured data or schema markup, you know that it's an expansive vocabulary with like anywhere from 840 to 850 primary schema.org types or classes, each with their own properties associated with it. And we also cover off the extensions, but imagine that you can pull any of those properties into your Google Analytics as a custom dimension and report on it. So our partners are free to sell that offering out to their customers as well to really, provide insight, additional insight into their traffic. Or we are asked quite often to provide consulting services on new or refurbished website in terms of content and how to structure your content to maximize schema markup opportunities. So again, we encourage our partners to get involved in that kind of stuff as well. So
one of the things I'm excited about just on this side is the complementary services is an area we're going to continue to build on. And so, what we're trying to do now is really get our partners excited and trained on how to sell a lot of like our authoring and deployment, sort of making sure that markup is getting done well and being maintained. But we're doing quite a lot of innovation around, how do we do better reporting? How do we enhance reporting? How do we start like predicting content strategies based on schema markup? And so, as you come and partner with us, you'll also sort of be on the pipeline of that innovation, and our partners will be some of the people that we'll use to refine what those offerings should be to make sure that they're things that you can sell and use as value add to your customers.
That's awesome. And one thing I didn't mention is, although you're free to wrap your own services around this, if you ever need our help beyond the high touch support that's included with the subscription, then you get access to customer success managers who do this all day long and are probably the best in the world at it at 15% off. All right, so how do you identify these opportunities? So first and foremost, a good customer for schema markup or structured data would be one that, the internet is important to their success. So, there's probably not a lot of companies out there who don't rely on the internet, but if you've got customers who heavily rely on the internet, then this is a key initiative for them. But in addition to that, they may have no schema markup or poor quality markup, which means they might have pages with the wrong markup, or or they're missing a lot of the different elements that would qualify for rich results or features. They might have implementation challenges, and they might have a lack of resources and or expertise. So, how do we figure this out? So in terms of no markup or poor quality, you can either test the pages one by one using Google's structured data testing tool. We actually have a tool that's called an analyzer, and it will go and crawl 10,000 pages of a website to identify, of those 10,000 pages, how many of them have structured data, in what form, and the quality of the markup. Are they missing, required or recommended fields according to Google's criteria, or is it good? And so, that's one way to test it. We also take a look at the individual pages and make sure that it's been done properly. So for instance, you might have organization markup on every single page. That is not advisable. So even though like the tool will say you've got organization markup as an example and it's done correctly, we want to make sure that it's in the right places. Implementation challenges, we run across this a lot where, IT just doesn't have the cycles or they're delayed. These tools are all developed with the marketing professional in mind, because any way you can promote your products and services through the internet, you want to be able to tell Google and the other search engines that this content resides out there. You want to do it quickly, you want to take advantage of that kind of stuff, but your IT department might be struggling with it. And let's face it, trying to, write this stuff manually is tedious and time consuming. So we look for that, customers where that's a big pain point. The other thing is that there's some content management systems that have automated tools and others that don't. For instance, we have a WordPress plugin. We have a free version of it that allows you to add markup to a few of the schema.org classes, like articles and that kind of stuff. We have a more advanced one that pulls in some reviews and products and allows you access to wiki, which is fantastic. But sometimes this, I'm going to call it vanilla markup, is not sufficient. You want to be really clear with the search engine, specifically what your value is. And we use built with to find out what kind of content management system they're running on. Does it have any automated tools that they can take advantage of? And that's another way for us to identify opportunities.
I think the CMS is like especially an interesting one for the highlighter, where anytime they're using an enterprise CMS, so they're spending a lot of money already on a CMS, but it tends to be really rigid, and the resource cost in order to get things done custom done is high. So like whether that be like Adobe, Sitecore, Drupal, or a lot of custom done sites is as well sort of where we're seeing just a lot of opportunity, especially on older e-commerce sites, or e-commerce CMSs, where it's just like a nightmare trying to get things done. And so with the highlighter and the tag manager, we're really able to overcome that. And a lot of you already like work with your customers and sort of, know which ones get things done with their dev team and know which ones aren't. And so I think a lot of the feedback we've gotten from partners is just that, like we help remove those barriers of just even coordinating, frankly, with the customer to try to get things done, which, in my agency days was really painful.
Yeah, and lastly, they may have just a lack of resources and or expertise. So the schema markup stuff is complicated. So our tools make it a lot less complicated. You don't have to write code, but it's a vast vocabulary, lots of options, lots of different specific requirements. And so they just might not be able to do it in-house. Additionally, premium or enterprise customers, so these are the ones that are a good fit for the highlighter. In our experience, they tend to be either hyper competitive or hyper complex, or they may struggle with these execution problems that we were talking about, particularly large organizations. The highlighter might be, is a great choice for customers who have many templated pages and dynamic content. Even if it's not a lot of pages, but it's changing frequently, you don't want to be going in there and changing the markup to align with the content. So if you had a tool that's just going to automatically update the markup, that would be awesome. The content, if your content it contains elements that are eligible for Google features, you definitely want to make sure that it's marked up. I don't know if you've ever seen the Google Gallery, but we've got a link to it here, and we are going to post these slides afterwards. So for products there's a whole pile of how-tos, frequently asked questions, videos, courses, lots of different options, and you definitely want to take advantage of those wherever possible. And
so just to so we have the entire schema.org vocabulary. So everything that's in there today, you can also use the pending vocabulary, and even things like they just came up with the beta for metadata for images, and like Google actually called us to add those properties to our tool before they announced it. So if there's something that Google's working on, we'll have the ability to do that within the tool. So if any of your customers are especially early adopters, like to be innovators, this is a really great way for you to be able to do that. And then one other point just on the type of content, and it's a question I often get asked, which is when you're using the highlighter, once you set up that template, in anything that's like published that matches that template, or anything new that's published that matches that template, will be optimized. So if you basically set it up for your blog, and then you publish a new blog, or within a blog you're changing some of the content or changing the image, doesn't matter, it'll continue to update it sort of like based on that layout.
Awesome. And one of the foundational things that we look for as well is that, the website's healthy, the speed is reasonably good, and, other elements like, that the website's working well. So those are some of the ways that we identify the customer. So, and throughout this, we've talked a little bit about, why Schema app? So, Martha, did you want to speak to this slide, or would you like me to?
I'd love to. It's my favorite slide. Yeah. So at Schema App, we're one of the only tools in the world that is really thinking about that holistic process of doing schema markup. So, we talk about strategy, which is like, what should we optimize in order to get the best results, and also based on the content on the site and the business priorities. And then we have the tools, the editor and the highlighter, to help you do authoring, whether it be 1 to 5 pages or millions of pages. We automate the deployment across any platform. And then we also really try to give you the tools and the ability to do maintenance. So whether that be using the analyzer, or being able to just quickly go in and make an update based on something that's changed, or in reaction to perhaps a new change in Google Search Console announced, that maintenance piece is something that we're constantly trying to automate. And we're even looking at sort of how do we even give you some automated fixes once we sort of get some good learning in there. And then, the fifth area that I sort of alluded to as we talked about different new offerings is around reporting and analytics. Because, even if you do anything in SEO, we all know that everyone wants to see well, what's the ROI? What was the result of doing that work? And so today, while we do this a lot by teaching you where to search for things in Search Console or how to baseline things in Google Analytics, we're actually building out the ability for us to have an executive report that shows you the results that we've correlated, pulling your Google Analytics data and so forth together, so that you can more easily articulate sort of what the impact of doing schema markup was to your customers. And then the other piece that we do here is also around sort of making sure that you can reuse that data, similar to what we were talking about enhanced analytics. But when we asked our customers and our partners why they've chosen to work with us, and so we've been doing this since about 2015, 2016, people are saying our world-class expertise. So we're really, really on top of not just doing basic markup, but really proper schema markup, like semantic markup, like how it's supposed to be done. We're really, focused on customer satisfaction or partner satisfaction, making sure that you're getting what you need. And that comes from us being transparent and just honest about what we can and can't do, and then really sort of working hard to make sure that things are working. That they love the fact that we have sort of the entire vocabulary, that you can create any markup, and it's totally, one of our customers called it a glass box. It's not a black box. It's not like something where you don't have controls and knobs and changes in order to make the markup exactly how you want it. Kind of add your secret sauce. Our whole goal is to do speed to market and productivity gains. I joke that I spent too much time at Cisco where things move slowly. And so I really wanted to kind of pass on to our channel as well as to our customers that ability to move with lightning speed. And then again, we want to sort of help you be able to optimize all your websites. So none of your customers probably have the same setup unless you built it for them. So how do we allow you to use this across your entire portfolio? How do we sort of give you transparency and control, and also be really open and honest with you about sort of what we see changing in the market and how we can help? And then where we're really excited to move is around sort of moving more into that business intelligence and continue to be your innovation partner in the market.
Awesome. And so, talking about innovation, about half of our team is working on the development side, coming up with new tools, ways to automate, improve things, which is kind of exciting. We talk about customer satisfaction. We actually measure our NPS. It's always close to the 10, 1 out of 10 of customer satisfaction. Our churn is really low. So this is all, evidence of really high customer satisfaction. So we also offer, so in addition to having this awesome team and platform, we have training resources. So if you go to our website, you go under resources into training, we take each one of these different areas, starting with strategy. We have videos, we have, how-tos, and we walk through all of the different processes to try and bring people up to speed. We have the sales and marketing materials that we mentioned. So we give you access to a drive where we have marketing campaigns, emails, one-line value propositions, how to qualify opportunities, how to respond to obstacles that you might come across, things like that. In terms of the sales presentations, we have a core presentation, but then we have it blown out for different industries so that you can speak specifically to that industry and the type of things that they might benefit from. And here's just a couple of other quotes that we pulled in terms of why partners choose Schema app. To add more value to clients and enhance our offering. It's a scalable solution. We don't have schema markup expertise in-house, and all of our clients need it, but we need coaching and training. So if you are interested in registering and joining as a partner, it's really simple. You go to our website, you click on the partner tab. You can choose to either become a referral partner or a reseller program partner. Fill out the application and submit it, and then we'll get back to you in terms of next steps.